Welcome to Find Your Fridays. I hope you're having a great day. We've got all sorts of interesting things going on, including, but not limited to, the fact that there's a bulb blowing back there. So it's very dark on that side of the room tonight. And I'm like, no. Oh, dear. So anywho, it is what it is. And we're just going to have to work with it for tonight. That's all we're going to have to do. So just checking everything is working okay over on Facebook land. It's doing strange things over there. And it's not showing that I'm live. Fun, because I'm guessing it's still saying what are you doing, you crack-a-lacka? Oh, gosh. It's saying it's there. Continue. This is the fun part about streaming. You can't always get things working nice and smoothly right from the outset. It's a bit ridiculous. But at least my YouTube friends are hi, are there and doing their thing. Let's just, I've just got to look after everybody though, you know. Oh my goodness. I think Facebook is just having issues today. And let's jump back to the main page. This is my ding, 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 ding face. I don't know that I've got it right over here. It says I am live, but you know what? When I look over on Facebook land, I don't see it. I don't see it. I think it's lying to me. Facebook wouldn't do that, would they? They wouldn't lie to you. No, not ever. Oh, okay, that's changed to a green dot. What the heck? Okay. But nothing looks quite right over there. So what I might do is I might remove that one, delete that. I don't know if I can, hopefully I can put it back. Okay, let's try this one more time, people. One more time. The stream is already live. You cannot edit the schedule. Okay, cool. Save changes. Let's see if that works. I know you're here listening, and I am so grateful for it, Marit. I hope that you're doing really well. Oh, my lordy. See, everything says tick, tick, tick. Everything going, yeah, you're good. You're good. But when I go and have a look at YouTube, at the Facebookers, I'm not seeing it. So my regular Facebook crew is going to be a little bit confused. Oh, that looks like it might have worked. Yay! It worked. Thank goodness for that. Oh my goodness. Sometimes you just have to have a little bit of patience. Just a little bit. Just this much, you know? And if you have this much patience, then you just might get somewhere. And now we can do that. And hello. Now I'm back. I'm back. I'm back from outer space. Here we go. Thank you, me, for your patience. And thank you to you for your patience. I am so grateful for you. Oh my goodness. My beautiful Facebook people will be going, what the hell has happened to Lorene this tonight? Well, Lorene's not working on the full light system. That's what's happening. I don't know about you all, but the end of my week was quite hectic yesterday and today. And it's all very good. Well, I'm going to go 50-50 with whether it was great or not so great. There were some really lovely moments this week, and then there was some really not so great moments. I got gifted. So a funny thing happened yesterday in the afternoon. I was with my client, and she said to me, "Oh, do you know anybody with chickens?" And I was like, "Yes, I know someone with chickens." And she says, "Oh, do you think that maybe that you could give them this big bag of rolled oats?" Hi, Melinda. And so I was like, "Yeah, sure, why not?" You know, it might help to just sort of ease some of the tensions that have been happening between me and my next door neighbor. Not that she's a bad person as such. It's just, some people just kind of don't always comprehend the effect that their actions have on other people. So I rang her just when I got home yesterday to say, "Hey, are you home?" And she's like, "Oh, actually, I'm just about home," because she was in a different car. And I said, "Oh, would your chickens eat rolled oats?" And she's like, "Yeah, absolutely. They'd love them." And I was like, "Cool, I've got a big bag for you." Fully food grade and then everything. So, she could eat them if she wanted to. But yeah, so I got that, and she goes, "Oh, do you want some eggs?" And I was like, "Oh, I'd love some eggs." So I got 2 dozen nice, yummy, fresh, proper farm free range eggs for I don't know, maybe a 10-kilo bag of rolled oats. And I didn't have to pay for either of them. So that's prosperity. That's abundance, isn't it? My Grabovino numbers are working. They're working for me. They are. So yay. Hi, Andy Watson. How are you? Greetings and welcome. Welcome. So there's been some really lovely moments this week. There's been some, not so great moments, but you got to take the good with the bad, don't you? I got my new license with my funky hairdo and wicked wacky hair color. Thank goodness you can't actually really see the purple, but then I was a little bit disappointed you couldn't see the purple. But it's a good photo for a license photo. What I would have liked is if the lady taking the photo had said, "Oh, actually, you've just got this little bit of a hair sticking out here. Do you want to just flatten that down or something, and they'll take the photo for you?" No, she didn't. Just snap. Whereas I remember the first time I got my photo taken. No, the second time. Sorry, the second time when I got my photo taken, they were really lovely. They actually took a couple of photos and got me to choose which one I liked the most. So, different area though. Different area. Anyway. Enough rambling. My question is to you all, how has your week been? That's a little bit of a synopsis of my week. It's been a bit of an interesting one. Now, those of you... I have no idea if they're molting or not. I haven't put that up on there either. Haha. There we go. Let's do big. There we go. Now you guys can see that. Not wide. Tall. Yeah, that's good. So yeah, I don't know if they're molting or not. We don't talk that often. It's like only if something's coming up, like her dogs have been shitting on the front of my porch. You're welcome. Now you guys can see that I do have people from YouTube land and Facebook land, and you're all, and maybe even the YouTube people can now talk to the Facebook people, and the Facebook people can talk to the YouTube people. Oh, that just adds a whole extra development, doesn't it? Whole extra layer of awesomeness. All right, who wants to come and play? Ooh. For the weekly reading? No. Somebody's going to get that deck today. I wonder who it is. Somebody's calling out for it. When the chooks molt, they don't lay. Oh. Wow, the things you learn. See, I never, even though I sort of grew up on a farm, my farm didn't have chooks. But my friend's farm did, and I don't recall them. Mind you, they were bantams. Don't know if that makes a difference. Okay, cool. So that I don't ever recall them saying that they stopped laying at any particular time. Yeah, maybe if the chooks don't have a rooster with them, maybe they do that. But she's still got 2 roosters. At least she's dialed her collection down from 6 roosters to 2. So that's a little bit more easy to deal with. 6 roosters. No wonder they were crowing all the day and night. Oy. It's funny though when things like that come up in your world, and you have to do some research, and you find out, oh, wow, like I found out, because I've never owned chooks, so I don't know those bits and pieces. But I suddenly learned about things like that chooks are very territorial creatures. And if you have too many in a batch of chooks and roosters, they will fight each other and they will crow all the time. Now I know. See, I learned a new thing. I also learned lots of new things this week about people and how certain people think. And I learned different things about, I'm actually listening to a book that, she's a bit of a hard slog. However, I honestly think that if you're somebody who is wishing to get into a relationship, or are already in a relationship, or you're a young person, just starting to get out into the dating game or anything like that, and you want to know, maybe for those of us who are a little bit more experienced, I'm going to put it that way, in the sexuality game, a little bit older, there's a beautiful book by Louise Perry, but it is pretty hard going. It's hard listening to as a woman. However, it's very, very, very worth the listen or the read, whatever. And it's called The Case Against the Sexual Revolution. And the way that book came to me was actually from watching a reel from, Jimmy Carr. And Jimmy Carr is a comedian. However, he's also very, very smart. And he's very tuned in to, when you watch his interviews and stuff, you'll see his views on the world, on interactions with different people. And he does have some very firm viewpoints around all sorts of things, like how women should be treated, and pedophilia and all that sort of stuff. Like, he's very, very against all of that sort of stuff, like abuse and that sort of thing. And he has some really good viewpoints on things like digital ID and the way that social media is used. And he's just very, very smart, very well read, very smart. I would almost give him a few more years, and I think you'd actually say he's a bit of a philosopher as well. And of course, it's part of his job to read people, right? As a comedian, that's what he does. So yeah, when he spoke to a young lass who was asking about getting out into the dating game, and he recommended that book, I was like, I wonder what that's about. He can be incredibly compassionate as well. And yes, he rides the line between crass and just a little bit over past crass. He's one of those comedians, you kind of love him or you don't. And I totally understand that. So I started listening to that, and like I said, it covers some very, very heavy topics. And listening to a bit of it today, I had some big, like, aha moments in my head about how some of the things that I have watched, listened to, read have had a contributing factor into how I personally view relationships, like intimate relationships, that has actually not been particularly helpful. And it's because it's gone into the subconscious. And so for me, it's like, oh, ouch, that's, ooh. So if you're one of those people who's been in many, many toxic, narcissistic, gaslighty, abusive type relationships, and you're sitting there wondering why, have a read of that book. Jimmy Carr doesn't change his looks. I'm not understanding what you're talking about. Jimmy Carr's always very well dressed. He's just a very well dressed man. He generally wears suits when he's up on stage. And I think he's in the interviews and stuff that I've seen with him, he's wearing a suit as well. He's always very well dressed. Maybe you're thinking of someone else. Maybe you're thinking of Jim Carrey. No, Jimmy Carr. He's a British comedian. What are we today? We are the 12th. So tomorrow being the 13th, let's do a reading for the collective from the 13th to the 19th, which includes a new moon on the 15th, on Monday. Ooh, that one. Cool. Yeah. And if you're thinking about Jim Carrey, he was very, very tuned in. And he also spoke out a lot about the stuff of Hollywood. the end of politics and even more than that. You'll notice my phrasing is was. You may or may not have picked up on that. Anywho, we're not here for that. We're here to have a good time with us. But yes, that book is it's hard listening, but very insightful at the same time. All right. So for the collective, for everybody, for the 13th through to the 19th of June, 2026. Interesting. So the first card that we've got is Protect Yourself. And this is an interesting one. It's Azure. So we're going to protect ourselves this week. That's what we're being asked to do. Let's turn that light up. And when we see protect, quite often, you guys know, I do the expanding out tool, right? So when we see protect, I immediately go to, ooh, please don't contract yourself. Okay. And as I'm saying this, my everything is just going, oh, tickles and lightening and yawning. And so we know we're on track. Right. So please don't contract this week. It looks like there's going to be some stuff that's going to come up this week that's going to be challenging. And the challenging things are going to try and contract you down, make you feel like you should be smaller than what you are, or try to hide, freeze, fawn, that sort of stuff. Please don't. Please honor you and your magnificence and expand out. Okay, so expand out beyond your lifetime's dimensions, realities and non-realities, if you like, or even just expanding out to beyond wherever you've been before, and expand out your allowance beyond that, and boom. You can do it quietly, you can do it in your head, and what you'll find is the energy around you will change. And then if you're in a work environment, for example, the people around you will shift, okay, and their energy will change as well. So just, it's a little bit of a heads up to say, just keep an eye on things this week, that they might be a little bit challenging. And the next card adds to that one, which is Aqua, experience peace and calm. So the interesting thing is that these cards came out because I'd shuffled the cards upside down. So they all came out upside down. And initially I was like, oh, okay, whatever. They've just come out upside down. No, I think that it's actually showing us it's the opposite of what's actually going to happen this week. And that's why we have to flip them back up. So if you are feeling contracted and that you feel like you need some protection, expand out first thing, recognize what's going on, expand out, and then find those places of peace and calm within you. So come back to the 90-second tool. Remember that one? Just close your eyes, breathe, and count to 90 in your head. That's all you need to do. That's it. Closing your eyes helps you focus your attention on on that energy, the feeling that's coming up. And with that, that's helpful because, hi Tamara, because what that then does is it allows you to process that right through to completion, and then you will find your peace and calm. All right. I know it's hard to remember. I could have absolutely used that tool yesterday and I completely forgot. So I get it. I truly get it. I got very cross yesterday afternoon. And for reasons that I won't go into because, you know, it's not necessary on here, but I got very cross. And I didn't let it just do its 90 seconds and be done. I should have, but instead I was talking to another person on the phone. So yeah, it is. Anyway, over this week, you are going to be encouraged to lighten up. This is why I normally have it on a different setting. So let's just drop it down a little bit. There we go. Lovely. Lighten up this week. And with that, boy, stuff is going to feel heavy this week. Stuff is going to feel very challenging. And the song just popped into my head going, ooh, child, things are going to get easier. If you know that song, it's a very good song. It was also in Guardians of the Galaxy. So we love that song for that movie too. Lighten up, find something to laugh and giggle about. Okay, go see some friends that make you laugh, or hop on the phone and have a chat to them. That was really weird, actually. The other day, I was watching something, and the person held the phone to their ear like that. And I was like, who holds a phone like that? And then I was, sorry, ADHD moment. And yeah, so find somebody to laugh and giggle with this week. If you're feeling a little bit humdrum, what is it that you're putting off? Okay, what little tasks or awkward things or stuff for yourself, stuff for someone else, what are you putting off? Because this week we also got Jade, which is take action. So with this new moon being on Monday, you're going to have a lot more forward motion happening. So this weekend, it's going to be a little bit slower, a little bit gentler as we just come in through to Monday. And then after Monday with the new moon, your energies and everything are going to be picking up again. Okay. So we're in the waxing moon after Monday. And with that comes that willingness to move forward. So pick up on some of those projects that you haven't done, those little tasks that you haven't done that really need to be done. Get onto it. Stop procrastinating. And that's just as much to me as to you guys. I've done quite a few little tasks today that I had been sort of playing around with doing and not doing. And one of them being, I have 3 little pot plants in my house, and I have tried all sorts of other things to get rid of these fungus gnats, and I could not do it. The only thing I hadn't done yet was basically to take them and dump out all the soil and wash the root system and repot them with some new soil. That was the one thing I hadn't done, and I did all 3 today. So yeah, here's the reason why I painted my nails, because I was like, ugh, my nails look all wanky now. I did clean them, of course, but yes. What's our yummy card? Receptive. Okay, so be aware that you are receptive and receiving all sorts of different information this week. The good, the bad, the ugly, and the awesome. All right, so as you are moving through your day and you're feeling the good, the bad, the ugly, and the awesome, know that it's not always yours. Probably most of it's not yours, and that it's okay to be aware of it and not do anything with it. So just be aware of that this week. Hope that helps you all for this week to come. So the other thing I was going to say is our meditation from last week. I actually edited that one out already and have released it already, which is to release the sadness and grief locked in your body. So if you missed that meditation last week, in this on YouTube, in the same spot that you find the podcast tab, there is one there for meditations, and it's in any of the show notes and stuff. I've got links through to that one. I think it goes to the right spot. Pretty sure it does. Either way, it'll send you over to my YouTube channel, and then you can watch them from there. And also, along with that, I have meditations coming out on every Monday and Wednesday at the moment. I've nearly finished with I've nearly finished with June's releases, ready to go. They've all been done. I only have one more to do, and then that's June sorted. So basically, as far as YouTube is concerned, you're getting me on a Monday, Wednesday, and a Friday. How lucky are you all? And there's a lot of meditations for me to edit and stuff. And some of you may not have been around over the previous 3 years. So there's lots of content there to enjoy. And so just keep an eye out for them. They are there, they're coming through. And if you like, you can pop on over there. And I almost never, ever say this. You guys know that. But if you pop over onto YouTube, subscribe to the channel, you'll get that notification and stuff. And then you'll know each time the new one's coming out. And it's been fantastic fun to be able to do that task that I've been wanting to do, talking about doing for ages. So it feels good to now be in a mental headspace where I can actually do that. And it's lovely to actually see the progression of all the meditations that we've done over the years. And you won't see my face, you'll just hear my voice, because let's face it, you're going to be with your eyes closed anyway, so you don't need to see my face. But for me, it's been quite funny watching my backgrounds change, and yeah, it's been good. It's good fun. Alrighty. Tamara, my love, you have pre-donated, so please feel free to let me know what question do you have for me today, and we'll see where we go. My tea for today is interesting. It's the Puka brand, and it was called Breathe in Eucalyptus. And I really like it. But the funny thing is, on the back here, it goes 3 mint. So there we go. 3 mint, so they reckon. It's very lovely, and I really like it. Okay. Who's going to come and play? Do you want anything else? No? Okay. Okie dokie. Now I've got that song in my head. Ooh, child, things are going to get easier. I'm not going to sing any more than that because I don't want to get the copyright strike or anything dumb. Right. Thank you. I was like, are you sure? 3 cards with that one? I don't think so. 1, yes. 3, not all of them. So I'd love to know, what have you guys been creating in the last week or so? What have you got on your creative agenda? I love hearing what people are up to creatively. I actually learned. Oh, yeah, there we go. Here's your team. I actually learned a few months back now that one of the team on the industrial side does a bit of upcycling. Not upcycling, just sort of renovating or renovating older furniture, but just real simple stuff, but good timber stuff, you know. So yeah. So that was really fun. You just never know what people are into. And yeah, I had a really lovely moment. Your team is very strong, Tamara. It's like, so I had a really lovely moment this week. Like I said, I've had a lot of good moments this week, and I've had a few like moments. You need more from this deck? No. Okay, cool. And I took my embroidery, all but the ribbon embroidery, but I took my other embroidery pieces that I've shown you guys to this lady who's I would class as an expert needle worker. And her and her daughter used to do picture framing. She was the picture framer. And they were both like very complimentary about the work that I had done and the fact that I'm still only beginning and learning and all that sort of stuff. And I'm like, oh, that's cool. So I feel very like chuffed with how I've gone, because I can imagine the lady, even though she's just so lovely, if I hadn't have done things quite right, she would have let me know. But no, she was very, very complimentary indeed. Okay, we've got an interesting format of your reading today, because 2 cards have come out from one deck and the other came out from the other deck and 3 from another deck. And it's like 2 cards from the first one have asked to be as like a sandwich either side. One of them I'm reasonably familiar with, the other one, not so much. But I do. Okay, thank you. I do appreciate the first one coming out, that's for sure. Marit, you know how to interpret me always, even when I fail to hear the correct surname. I am out in the garden working where I live. The 19-year-old ones graduate this week. Difficulties with all the music from the neighbors. Oh, yeah. What's the term for that, Tamara? Schoolies? Is that right? I didn't go to high school here, so I never got to experience schoolies, which is that time when everybody is graduating and they go and have big parties everywhere, and it's really annoying for the neighborhood. Not so much for them, but for the neighborhood. 158. That was rather loud. I do apologize. Let me just drop that down a little bit. Cool. All right. So the first and last cards for you, Tamara, are from the Divine Feminine deck. And all right. So this is so tricky with the lighting today. It's amazing what not having the light behind you does to everything else. Because it's like the lights are just getting blown out. It's like, okay, let's try this way. Yeah, there we go. You don't really need to see my face. The card's more important. All right. So we've got, I think it's Zhao and Huanjin. There we go. And she is the mystic of peace. I am peace. And when my mind is clear, the way is clear. When your soul selects her card, Albert Einstein reportedly said that we cannot solve our problems with the same thinking we used when we created them. Clarity only comes from clarity. There is a peace and calm that exists far beneath the constant banter most of us listen to within our minds. Jungian author Clarissa Pinkola Estes calls it the river beneath the river. It's the steady flow of the universal life force that wants us to reach our goal if we can only get still enough to merge with it. Unwi in Taoism translates as doing nothing. It's a sacred feminine art of trusting the force of life that exists within us all. Zhao mastered this a spiritual practice by calming her mind and experiencing the still center that's at the eye of every storm. Zhao is calling for us to be still, to do nothing other than shift our awareness. Come out of the current state of mind that we're in before making any moves or decisions. She reminds us that we only want to take action when what is moving us is the force of love at the heart of everything. In your soul voice meditation, enter the heart and ask to experience stillness. Repeat the mantra, I am peace. Your intention, I am peace. When my mind is clear, the way is clear. So this tells me that you've been doing a little bit too much of the old monkey mind. You've been a little bit too much in your head again. And your team is asking for you to drop down into your heart space and get a little bit more quieter. And the interesting thing is, as I was reading that, what I was seeing was not an absence of thought. It was finding the quiet place within the place of thought. So the thoughts still move around you, but you yourself are in a place of peace and quiet and like stillness, if you like. So I'm actually going to leave her card out because I think I know what I'm going to do for our meditation tonight, thanks to her. So yes, I don't know if that makes sense to you. Maybe that does. But yeah, it was more of just sort of not necessarily going with the flow, but more of just trusting that the flow will work for you. Okay, so there's that. Oh, Lordy. We will figure out these lights things. Anyway. Alrighty. So Tamara. Schoolies. Yay, I got it right. Cool. I was a country girl. Our version of schoolies was camping at the beach for the weekend. Yeah. Okay, cool. Thank you. So yeah, So I think a lot of people get confused by the peace of the mind. I think that's something that I'm like, I used to as well. I used to get really confused about that too. And the thing is that I don't think anybody can ever have nothing going on. I don't think anybody can, honestly, because here's the other element to it, is that if we are all, I'm just going to expand this out for a second before I carry on with this card reading. So if we are, and feel free to pop your thoughts in too, if we are all connected to the universal one consciousness, we do, whether we like it or not, have an element of telepathic communication, empathic communication, which means that even if we manage to quiet our own thoughts, we are still going to be very aware of everybody else's thoughts, whether we're consciously aware of it or not. Now, to a greater or lesser degree, depending on how close the people are or our relationship to them or whatever. But like, there's always this low level empathic, telepathic communication that we're always going to be aware of. So there is no way truly to remove yourself from that. So you can't fully quieten the mind as such. And what I think it's talking about there is more about finding the stillness within you, even though there's all of this extra noise going on around you. And by noise, I mean empathic, telepathic information rolling through. And I liken it to when I was a nanny and I was nannying a child who'd experienced some sexual abuse, and they were just having this real raging moment. They were just bouncing everywhere and they were really angry and stuff. And I needed to make sure they weren't going to hurt themselves. So, and I was pretty sure they wouldn't hurt me. And so I just sat down cross-legged in the middle of their bedroom and just was peaceful. I did some practicing of some energy work with my hands. And because I knew this kid was pretty telepathic and empathic, I, of course, asked permission from his higher self if it was okay for me to, potentially gift him some of what I was doing. And his higher self was like, yeah. And it took him a few minutes to even click that I was, number one, there, and number two, doing something different to what the other adults in his life had ever done, which was be peaceful. Even though he was raging and he was throwing his toys and jumping on his bed and, doing all sorts of crazy stuff, stripping his bed, throwing it off, all that sort of thing. I just was peaceful. I sat, I was calm, breathed intentionally. And I think that's what they're really getting at with that first card for you. So come back to the heart space, come back to the breath, and be peaceful. And that message isn't just for Tamara. It's for all of us who go through those moments where we're just so caught up in everybody else's BS and we're forgetting to make ourselves peaceful and calm. Righty-ho. The next set of cards is from the chakra reading cards. This one here. That was from Rochelle Charmaine. And your first card is holistic health, which is the base chakra. We've drawn this card today to let you know that healing is at hand. It is your natural state of being to be healthy in all aspects of your life. Your mind, body, and spirit are constantly working to attain good health. Due to the world we live in, which is filled with stress and toxic chemicals, disharmony is prevalent. The body, however, has an innate intelligence to heal. Your job is to get out of its way and clear your emotional and mental imbalances so that the body can heal itself. Disease and sickness can occur on many levels. The body can store old emotions and beliefs, which in time can create imbalances in your outer energy, causing disharmony and disease. Healing is holistic, and when you can work on the many layers of being, miracle healing can occur, and a state of well-being can take place. Have you been feeling out of balance, sluggish, and generally unwell? It's time to tune in and become aware of any disharmony in your field. Do what is required for holistic healing to occur. It's time to expand your awareness and look behind the issue at what emotion or outdated belief system could be causing an imbalance. You are the most powerful person in your life to create profound healing. It's time to look after yourself holistically and let go of anything that is not serving your highest purpose at this time. Do what is required to nurture this process, whether it is to go and see a healer, massage therapist, start a daily practice like yoga, meditation, or some form of exercise. You may also be guided to change what you eat, change something in your environment that's got a big ping on it. Whatever your mind, body, and spirit is calling you to do, it is a perfect time to take action and invite holistic healing into your life. Sorry. Your affirmation, and I'm going to sing it. Every little cell in my body is happy. Every little cell in my body is well. Ready? Because I can't get done for copyright on this one. Everybody sing. Every little cell in my body is happy. Every little cell in my body is well. I'm so glad every little cell in my body is happy and well. I'm so glad every little cell in my body is happy and well. Every little cell in my body is happy. Every little cell in my body is well. Every little cell in my body is happy. Every little cell in my body is well. There we go. So get that song stuck in your head this week. Enjoy. Literally, it says affirmation. Every little cell in my body is happy and healthy. So that's why I had to sing it. And the reason why I'm laughing is because I used to sing that a lot. I even did a video in one of my 30-day video challenges about it. I have it written up on my wall. And then my friend from Canada shared it with me this week. And then she shared it with another group that I'm in. And I'm like, and then before I hopped on the podcast tonight, I sang it back to her. So that's why I was giggling. Perhaps it's a message I require to hear multiple times too. All right. Next card. Ooh. So the big thing with the holistic health card that I was getting off of that one is there's something in your environment that is not helping you right now. And it's something you require to let go of. Now, what exactly that is, hang on, let me see if I can tune in. Is it big or is it's something small-ish? It's something that's got some energy attached to it that on the surface does not look nefarious, but it actually is. And it is bringing in some kind of funky energy. Truth is, and it's a portal. So have a look around for the energy of portals, like tune into that energy, have a look around, see what it is, and either get rid of it or do some closing up of portals and cleansing it. There is definitely something in there though. Let me see if I can narrow it down to a room. Okay, so just checking, is it inside the house? Yes. I keep hearing it was a gift, it was a gift, it was a gift. So something that somebody's given you has a bit of fucked energy attached to it. Sorry. It's got some wackadoodle energies attached to it. And that's sort of throwing some spanners in some works for you. Okay. All right. Your next card is the throat. The truth, which is the throat chakra. You have called this card into your awareness today as a reminder that the divine truth of the universe is pulsing through you at all times. There is truth in each moment. However, the challenge is to unravel this truth and understand what it means to you. Everyone has their own perception of the truth, their own personal understanding, and it is not always going to be the same as yours. You are encouraged to connect and become aware of your truth in a particular situation. It is time to trust and believe in yourself and connect, follow, and express the truth that resonates deeply in your heart. You are constantly being guided to listen to the truth of your soul, and now is the time to truly believe and take action in this truth. You could be feeling confused due to taking on someone else's point of view or their personal truth regarding the situation. Now you are being encouraged to reassess their view and find the truth that resonates for you. As the saying goes, the truth will set you free. Once you share your truth, you will definitely feel a lot lighter and more at peace. You may be holding back the truth from someone to avoid hurting their feelings. It is now time to open up and be honest with yourself and this person and find a way to share your truth in a calm and loving way. It is very important that you share from your heart and honor how you feel so that you are not swayed by how the other person receives your truth or how they react. Know that you are being supported at this time as you shine more truth into your life. Your affirmation: I live and listen to my truth in each moment. So I'm just asking who it is that this is referring to. What is it? What are you aware of? Oh, all right. This is about you being honest with yourself. And it lines up with the previous card, obviously. In that there's some hard truths that you're avoiding about your own journey. And with that, because I was like, is this to do with a family member? It was no. A friend? No. A colleague or somebody like that? It was like, no. And I was like, who is it then? It's like, truth, is it to do with herself? It's like, yes. Okay. So quite often we can be so well tuned in to other people, but we're sometimes a little bit too close to our own shit to be able to see it, acknowledge it, heal it, all that sort of stuff. And it is hard. It is challenging. And I know you know this. There's something deeper that's happening right now that your team, and particularly this week, it's going to shake you a little bit by the looks of it. In fact, it's like, you see how it's almost like we've got fire and water happening, and it's a little bit all over the place. So there's something that's going to get you a bit fired up, and then it might make you a little bit emotional. Look at what's under that. Why are you fired up? What is this activating in you? And I'm hearing the sense of injustice. So watch out for that this week, where you're, and it's an invitation to dive a little bit deeper, to unpick some belief systems that are currently you're functioning from, or points of views that you're functioning from that are not helping you. And more than not likely, you've picked some of the stuff up from family or society, or maybe even in another lifetime, and it's time to let it go. Absolute time to let it go. I am curious actually to know, did you get onto that Ina Segal free masterclass where she was talking about the ancestry stuff? Because she did a meditation, a healing meditation in that. I haven't listened to the re-released version of it. And I don't know if you haven't got it, how to access that one. But what I'm being asked to show you is that there's very, very high chance that some of the belief systems are not just, say, your parents, it's going back into your ancestry. So there's two layers happening here. There's your ancestral points of views and belief systems that are going to come up this week, but there's also your own that don't belong, that have not originated in this lifetime. And that's interesting. So there's this one thing that's going to just kind of spider out to many different aspects. So that's actually something in my world, that's something to get really excited about, because it's like, oh, finally I can release whatever that is. Yay. It's like when I ask myself those questions of what do I require to work on or be aware of or whatever, and it's like I get something like that, and I'm like, oh, cool. A little bit of guidance is always good, and things to watch out for. Okay. So there is definitely something that's going to bubble up this week for you. Might even be around this next card. Although sometimes I will admit I get intimidated by it. The regression that I did, not the last one, but the one before, that was very traumatic. And I will admit, did make me feel a little shaken and a little bit cautious about the next one that I did. And so the next one I did, which was last weekend, oh, brilliant. It was lovely in the end. But I had put it off for a good couple of weeks because I was just like, I had to sort of build up the confidence to be able to go back in and get to this next layer. And when I did, it was brilliant. It was wonderful. It wasn't all nice. In fact, it was pretty nasty, but it was a different kind of nasty. And having now been released from the stuff that happened in that lifetime, I'm like, that's actually that's a regression I'd be happy to talk about. Oh dear. Right. On that note, your next card. Number 12, which is relationships from the sacral chakra. You have attracted this card into your awareness today, as it is a powerful time and opportunity to deepen relationships. Relationships are the way that we connect to all things in our world, not just people. This could be a relationship with yourself, your partner, your family, friends, pets, creative projects, your home, and your community. And I'm going to add in there your business. For things to grow, expand, and be healthy, your relationships require to be fed and nurtured. Now is a good time to see which bonds require some more love and attention and assess the ones that are not so healthy for you at this time. What awareness is required to shift the energy around any challenging relationships? What do you require to assess, or what do you require to express for this relationship to heal? Whether this card relates to your intimate relationships or relationships in general, know that there is great opportunity for growth and connection. Through relationships, you learn about yourself and others. They are an integral and important part of your life's journey. Our relationships teach and mirror many traits back to us. Sometimes this reflection is hard to accept. However, when you are willing to see yourself honestly and work positively with your behavior, then there is a huge opportunity for growth. The key is to accept and love every aspect of yourself and set yourself free from judgment and limitation. There is an abundance of love and healing that comes with a solid, fulfilling relationship. Take time to nurture your relationships, put in the energy, and allow them to grow and expand into beautiful friendships or deeper connections. It is also a powerful time to create a long-lasting, healthy relationship with yourself and be your new best friend. Affirmation. My relationships are aligned with my highest good and my soul's purpose. Okay, my team have been nudging me gently for that way for the last week. Yes. Your relationship with yourself is very, very much on the cards. Pun fully intended. There is also whoever gifted you that item that has some real funky energy with it, that in a portal and stuff, they may or may not have, I'm trying to be generous here, realized what they gave you. I'll let you use your awareness on that one. But yeah, the relationship with that person also requires to be assessed. Okay. Just as a thought. And if you gave that, whatever that is, to yourself, okay, let me just tune in. Downstairs. Like I said, it's not very big. It's a small item. Okay, is it as big as my cup? Bigger than my cup. It's bigger than my cup. Is it bigger than my laptop? Truth, is it bigger than the laptop? No. But it likes to think it's bigger than the laptop because of its energy. Truth, is it in Tamara's office space? Yes. So yeah, maybe there's something, maybe you've got it tucked away in a cupboard or in the back of a drawer or something like that. You haven't looked at it for a while. Have you done a clean out of your office lately? Or are you planning to do a clean out of your office space? Yeah, tune in with the energy of portals and you'll find it pretty quick. You'll do it like the hot cold thing. All right, where are you? Thank you. Now, interestingly, this next card, and if Melinda's listening, this is one that you should listen to because you will be finding out about this one in a little bit more depth in a few months' time. I moved my downstairs space around a couple of weeks ago. Okay, cool. Yeah, there's something funky happening down there. Interesting. You'll find it. I believe in you. All right, so you have White Buffalo Calf Woman, the prophetess of the sacred way. My heart is a compass, the path of love is true abundance. Who she is. White Buffalo Calf Woman represents the sacred vision that gives us hope that all will be provided for. That all will be provided for us. Let's finish that. So White Buffalo Calf Woman or White Buffalo Woman is the primary cultural prophet of the Lakota region. Buffalo are considered sacred to the Plains people and are seen as messengers from the ancestors. A Lakota legend says that 2 young scouts went out in search of food during a famine. They saw a stunningly beautiful woman appear before them in a radiant white light. The first scout approached her with unholy intentions, and the second scout watched as the first man turned to bones at the instant he tried to touch her. She was clearly Lila Wakan, very holy. Thankfully, he knew this. She asked him to approach her because she could see into his heart and knew his intentions were good. She told him to prepare for her arrival at the village. He went back and gathered everyone together. She appeared before them and taught them 7 sacred rites of the Lakota people, including the sacred pipe ceremony that binds men and women together in a circle of love and mutual respect. When your soul selects her card, the White Buffalo Calf Woman is a sacred reminder that we don't have to struggle to turn a page. There we go. We don't have to struggle to receive all that we've desired. When we join our heart's longing with action, we find that there is a sacred way to move through the world. This sacred way is the path of steady, quiet alignment between the heart's intentions and our every step. White Buffalo Calf Woman is an omen of hope that all will be provided for us when we approach each situation with love. What she wants us to focus on is the intention behind the action, because that changes the outcome. She is a sacred prophetic sign that we can receive what we need without fighting for it or trying to secure it through manipulation. When prayer joins right action, when we move from that intention of creating only more love, then abundance is inevitable. I need to read that again. When prayer joins right action, when we move from that intention of creating only more love, then abundance is inevitable. And when we seek not just for ourselves, but also for the benefit of our loved ones and community, our requirements are divinely met. The most sacred path is the one abundant with love. A soul voice meditation. What is my intention for the work I am currently doing? Oof. That's a tough one. And your intention is, my heart is a compass. The path of love is true abundance. What is my intention for the work I am currently doing? And the funny thing is, I think that can be attributed to many things. So, for example, when I say this to certain people, like, I've realized that I watch my phone way too much, and I've decided that, you know, and after I come home from work, if I have nothing else happening, instead of sitting watching my phone, I'm going to come into this space and I'm going to like do some editing of my videos. And a couple of people said to me, yeah, but Lorene, you work pretty hard. You don't have to keep pushing yourself. So it was like they were enabling me to not do the thing that I'm like, I could do that. As long as I got nothing else on, like, I'm not going to put heaps of pressure on myself during the week, but it would be good to get more of those meditations and stuff done rather than sitting down and watching TV, like watching my phone. So be mindful of the ways that you're using to stop yourself from doing the work. Be mindful of where you're being enabled by others to not do. It's like, it's okay. Like, there's a real difference between what that friend said to me and what my counselor last year said to me of, it's okay to take your time. It's okay to take your time to heal. You don't have to rush this. It's all right. It's not procrastinating if you take your time. You're being intentional about it. That's a completely different conversation. So what I'm getting from the overall gist of this is, number one, there's some stuff that's going to bubble up for you this week around your relationship to yourself, but it's also a point of view and a belief system that you have absorbed or brought through from your ancestral line, and it's also being in conjunct with a spiritual line that has come through for you as well in your journey. It's kind of like the two have just meshed together. And so whatever work you do this week is going to help to undo that, and it's going to be fabulous. And it's going to really help with that relationship with yourself. And know that White Buffalo Woman is here with you. Keep finding that place of peace and calm within yourself. Take those moments to breathe. And just, it's okay. It's okay to feel sad. It's okay to grieve. It's okay. And sometimes we just have to take some space and time for ourselves to do that stuff. So that was the other thing for me last weekend, is like, I knew I was in an upgrade. Yes, it was appearing as a head cold and all that sort of stuff. That's cool, whatever. But I also had to prepare my environment to support me so that I could do a regression and know that I don't have to leave the house. I don't have to leave the house to go get groceries or anything like that. So I made sure I had everything prepared so that if it was a real big, like, blah, blah, blah moment, that I could just stay home Go outside, breathe in the air and look at the light and the plants and stuff, and enjoy whatever the weather was doing. But just have the without thinking about, oh God, I've got to get ready for this and that and blah, 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 blah. So make sure you are tuning in to create that space, that loving, nurturing, kind space for yourself as well this week. So that whenever it pops up, however it's going to pop up, whether you go searching for it or so it's a little bit more control manageable with your whatever you've got else going on in your life, then do that. Okay. And imagination is your yummy card. Imagine when you're in those moments and you're having to do that deep healing, allow your mind to be free enough to do the work that is required. Okay. Doesn't have to be what anybody else, like it doesn't matter if anybody else believes you. As long as you do it for yourself and you do that healing journey for yourself. Okay. I'll get my dowsing rods out and get them to point me in the right direction. Cool. Good idea. So cool that you've got those. I don't really know how to use them. I have been very lucky to have touched them before. Another friend of mine has a set, but yeah, not my jam at this moment. It might have been once upon a time. I don't know. I'm very curious about them though. Very curious. So maybe that's something I require to get in touch with. All right. So thank you, Tamara. Thank you for your beautiful donation. I'm so super grateful for you. And I'm just thank you for your continued support and the fact that you're here. And I'm so grateful for you, love. You're a very wonderful, talented reader yourself. So it's a big honor for me to read for you. Thank you. All right. Now I did see up here, Paul. Hopefully you're still floating around, Paul. Hello, Lorene. We got married. Could not wait till next year. We got married on Tuesday morning in Vegas. We are now in Nashville, Tennessee on our honeymoon. Oh, talk within a week. I and Lillian. Oh, congratulations, Paul. I'll just pop that up there so that you guys can all see as well. Oh, that's so cool. I am so happy for you, Paul. That is awesome. And that is wicked cool. Wicked cool. Have fun in Nashville. And I know there's some content creators, lots of content creators over there. And in fact, there's a pair of brothers over there that do tap dance. And they quite often shoot their videos out and about in Nashville, Tennessee. Oh, Tamara. And so, yeah, you have to tell me if you see them. The Gardner brothers is who they are. So, yeah, they actually used to do, what is it? Does anybody else remember the big tap dance, Michael Flatterly's River dance. There we go. Got it. Man, my brain's braining today. This is awesome. So river dance, and these brothers were actually went to Michael Flatley's tap dancing school academy or whatever it is, and they were part of the river dance crew for a while, and then they went off and started doing their own thing, and they've made themselves quite a decent following on YouTube. So you have to tell me if you see them. All right. How wonderful. Gosh, that's so lovely. He's popped in just to tell us that. That is so cool. Oh, so cool. All right. Now, I know I've had a couple of donations come through, so let me just write those down. Marit. And then Christine. Christine, it's been a while. We haven't seen you in a little bit. Okay. And I saw Marit's one up here. All right. Perfect question for this deck. This is the Ancestral Healing Oracle from Ina Segal. So let us ask your question. Whew. And this is just a general thing. You guys know I'm pretty real with you most of the time. And what just happened there, you would have noticed my energy shift for a minute. My friend Brian, who passed away earlier this year, he was a big Ina Segal fan. And this was just one of those moments when I opened this box and was hit by the fact that he never got to see this deck because he passed away before he could get it or even see it. And that sucks. It sucks that he's not here anymore. Just give me a second to center myself. You see, we don't always know the impact that we are making on other people. And maybe it's just because of who I am or whatever, but from the first moment I met Brian, he was just warmth and love and kindness. And he was just Just an absolute gentleman. And I respected him deeply, and I still do. Oh, grief is a sucky thing. Sneaks up on you when you're least expecting it, like in the middle of just about to do a reading. Okay. All right. Marit, I'm going to just pause that for a second. This is one of those perfect moments. And if you can, if you're not driving anywhere, I'd like you to do this with me. All right. Whatever emotion is coming up for you right now, I'd just like you to bring it up to the surface, even if it's happiness. Okay. I'd like you to bring it up to the surface, close your eyes, and we're all going to count to 90. All right. This is to show you in real time because, man, this grief thing is just not quite leaving me. So let us practice the 90-second technique. So you're going to close your eyes and you're just going to count to 90 in your head. I'll do it out loud so that we've got not dead air. All right. So just keep breathing. There we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Focus on that emotion. 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40, 41, 42, 43, 44, 45, 46, 47, 48, 49, 50, 51, 52, 53, 54, 55, 56, 57, 58, 59, 60, 61, 62, 63, 64, 65, 66, 67, 68, 69, 70, 71, 72, 73, 74, 75, 76, 77, 78, 79, 80, 81, 82, 83, 84, 85, 86, 87, 88, 89, 90. Big deep breath in and breathing out. Okay, there we go. And that's all you have to do for the 90-second technique. Okay. What's happening is in your neural pathways is an emotion actually only lasts in the brain for 90 seconds. It's been scientifically proven. But what happens for us lovely little humans is we turn around and we attach stories within that 90 seconds. And that those stories are what keeps us in the loop for longer. So if I hadn't done that right there, the grief around Brian possibly would have carried on throughout the rest of the show and kind of derailed it a little bit because I'm not as expanded out as in that moment. I was not feeling very expanded out. So expanding out again. Expanding out my allowance. Beautiful. Now I can read for you. Right. Thank you all for your patience. I hope you joined in with that because it's a really, really super useful tool. You don't need a degree to count to 90. That almost rhymed. I like it when Brian steps in to say hi. I don't like it when the grief comes, though. That's not fun. Okay, so you've got a couple of cards that have come out, my dear. Let us have a look. So this first card is go beyond survival mode, change your perspective. Okay. Now, a lot of women don't actually realize that they're in survival mode, even though they are. A lot of what happens for women in 20s, 30s, even their 40s, depending on where they're at with children and if it's children and working and husband and all that sort of stuff. And it depends on the relationship, obviously, with the husband and the type of relationship. But many women, I'm not saying even most, but I'm just going to say many women don't even realize that they're in survival mode, because a part of survival mode is having to organize so much and keep on top of everything, because it's all that forward planning stuff. And a lot of that is the survival mode stuff. But it can be taken to the extreme if you've got an unhealthy relationship. And I'm not saying that you do. That was just a general comment for the general public. It's easy to get stuck in survival mentality of having just enough, yet if you transform your thinking and beliefs around what is possible, you're likely to make a huge shift in what you experience and attract into your life. So the question that we're asking is, if there was something your team, your mother, or other ancestral mothers would like you to know, and it's about initially going beyond survival mode. They wish for you to not have that anymore, okay? And they acknowledge that this is something that they've passed down to you. If you come from a family where people have struggled to put food on the table, then your foundation has been built on scarcity. Lack attracts lack. Constantly struggling and experiencing a state of fear is no longer tolerable. So stop making excuses and start taking massive steps forward. It's time to make new connections and find mentors who can teach you how to live each day fully and experience freedom and choice. Release any guilt about or allegiance to how your family saw or operated. Free yourself from their potential judgments and disapproval. As long as you live from a place of inner integrity, follow your heart's wisdom and persevere even when it's challenging, you will eventually succeed. You will also live a full life from a place of deep satisfaction. The doors are open. You just require to change your perspective and start exploring from a fresh point of view. Your healing practice for this one. Take some time. So I'm just going to note for this one for you that we are sitting at 1 hour and 39 minutes. Healing practice. Take some time to reflect on what you desire and then explore what it would look and feel like to have more than enough. Attempt to connect with your wondrous inner child, the part that loves new discoveries and adventure. Ask this younger you to help you dream and become curious and creative. Each day, do something that is fun, joyous, and creative while still taking a courageous step forward. It's time to move towards the types of activities, experiences, and work that makes you thrive. Ooh, I like that one. That's a good card. So yeah, it's about knowing what survival mode is, acknowledging it, and then going, oh, wow, I wonder what life would look like if I wasn't in survival mode. And if you're like me and you've been in survival mode forever, even trying to fathom what life would be like without it it's too difficult. So when it does come, when you get that place of inner peace or a peace and safety within, and you go, oh, huh. It's still a massive adventure because you're constantly like going, oh, well, so how does this work now? How does it work with with talking with this person or that person, you know? And I have also found that you get a little bit more sensitive to things that throw you out of that place of peacefulness. Your next card, let's have a look at that one. So the other thing that happens when we are in survival mode is we protect ourselves a lot. We protect our heart, and quite often we protect parts of our body. It's part of why, dare I say it, I'm a chunky girl. I'm a chunky lady. I'm a voluptuous lady, because I was in survival mode for so long. And so my body naturally was trying to protect itself. So it held on to the fat because the fat is an energy reserve. And because I was in fight and flight and freeze and fawn, like all four of them at different times, and sometimes a combination of them over the years, like I've been in survival mode since I was basically born. And I'm not even going to go into that, but that whole basic lifetime of being in survival mode and being aware of where my mother was also in survival mode also impacted on me because I'm a little empath and I know this shit, right? So then I had the few moments in my life where I was not a little bit more chunky, or chubby, if you like, when I was littler, was those moments where I did actually start taking myself and paying attention to what my desires were, which is roughly when I was about 13. I had a lot of my high school years. I was 13 to 15 particularly, and I was locked in body shape wise to like a size 12 and over those 2 years. But it took some very significant shifts in the dynamical relationship with my mother, and gaining a different group of friends and all that sort of stuff that helped to move that a little bit at that time. And then I went to uni where I was doing the things that I wanted to do, but I wasn't happy. I was in survival mode there too. Didn't get chubbier, but I got messed up in my head a little bit. I went into people pleaser really badly. And then I got really depressed and homesick. But I didn't understand any of that. I didn't really comprehend what survival mode was. Even when I started learning about it, I was like, I don't know what that is. Now I do. Now I get it. And how it shows up in all its lovely different forms. So just keep that in mind. I think there's a lot of women out there in that situation. So if we have a look at that, okay, and then we go that protection of self and heart. This is what they would like you to also know about. Open your heart to a sacred love. Face some hard truths. If you have struggled with finding true love, don't despair. There is someone waiting for you. However, you will first need to do some inner work around the painful patterns you observed and took on from your family. So I'm pretty sure you're married. So that particular line is not necessarily relevant to you about trying to find somebody. The next part here is what is relevant, because where your family is asking for you to pay attention to the things that you've picked up from them, which is preventing you from having a truly sacred relationship or sacred love with your husband, or maybe even yourself. Okay, the most sacred love that we can have is the one with ourselves. Let me continue. You may have attracted several people into your life who represented a certain version of one or both of your parental figures. There are parts of your most sensitive heart that may still be suppressed or hidden. In order to find the kind of love that you desire, you require to work with any coldness, trauma, and self-sabotaging tactics that keep others away. This may require you to feel uncomfortable feelings and face some challenging truths. But by being honest with yourself, you can help parts of you that got shut down to revive and grow. You will learn to listen to the guidance and wisdom of your heart, which will direct you towards a person who will stir your heart and show you genuine, warm, sincere, sacred love. This is not an idealized love, but it is true love where there is openness and an opportunity to grow. If you already have this type of love, then cherish it and make more time to nourish it. If not, know that it is coming. Your healing practice. In your journal, make one list of the qualities you wish in a partner and another list of what are your total deal breakers. Next to each quality, write down whether or not you have the trait you are looking for. If you do, a tick there, and if you don't, underline it. And so if you do, comma, put a tick there. And if you don't, then underline it and write down what you are willing to do to develop that aspect of yourself. Also, write down your challenging aspects that a person you would love to be with would have to work with. Then reflect on the kind of person you need. Oh my God. Reflect on the kind of person you need who would enhance your qualities, your positive qualities, and help you with your challenging ones. If you already have a person like that in your life, what can you do to appreciate and support them? Okay. Whew. So the relationship that you have to have with yourself, I think that tool, that healing practice, is a great idea for any of us, whether we're in relationship or not. There is, I don't think I have it in here. Nope. There is a great book called The Values Factor, and by Dr. John DeMartini. And there's a very dear friend of mine who, she was a very business orientated, she still is, very business orientated, go-getter, push type personality. Like, she didn't rest for anybody, that sort of thing. She's got this really lovely husband, and she said to me, it wasn't until I read The Values Factor and I did the quiz and stuff in there that I realized how little I appreciated my husband and how wonderful he actually is to me, even though I can be an absolute stubborn, hard-headed so-and-so. And she said, in the moment that I realized how much I was not appreciating all that he did for me, I could see how our arguments, not that they really argue, but they have like little baby disagreements, but they still keep going because they love each other. And it's not to say that disagreements are bad, but it was unnecessary stuff where she'd get her nose out of joint and then she'd go and like just either go and do what she wanted to do anyway or whatever. And once she read that book, basically did a similar practice to what Ina's saying there. I hope that made sense. Of like, okay, write down the aspects that you would like to see in a person, in your partner, and see if you also and also the challenging ones that are deal breakers, and have a look and see, do you match up? Do you have those aspects in yourself? Because like attracts like, lack attracts lack. So do the positive aspects. That's why whenever I've had a relationship that's gone poorly, I've turned around and gone, okay, that behavior was shit. Like, there's no excusing that behavior. But what is it in me? What energy am I being that either consciously or subconsciously that has attracted that energy into my world, that set of behaviors into my world? So, like I said, this last journey, the last couple of regressions have been about that sort of stuff. Looking at where these energies have come into my world, where do they originate from and why? What has happened to create this energy that I'm functioning from that's attracting in, narcissistic, toxic, abusive type people? Because I'm not like that with other people. So it was like, why is it coming to me? I don't understand. I understand now. And hopefully I don't have to experience that again now because I've done the healing. So it's time to get honest and truthful with yourself, of having a look at some of those traits within you. If you're struggling and with survival mode, what is that? For what reason? And what would it take for that to not be the case anymore? Is it a case of learning how to speak up for yourself? Is it a case of having the confidence to do that? Is it a case of having a very honest conversation with your husband and your son who's still living at home, and just deal with the people you've got closest to you, and then you can extend out from there. I don't know if you have Audible, but there is a regression meditation that is on there that I use for when I'm doing my own guided work, like for me, when I'm doing it for me. I usually stop it partway through so that I can take over and do the rest of the work myself. But if you approach that guided meditation, it's by Dr. Brian Weiss, and Weiss. I have spoken about it before, and it is on Spotify, and it's called Spiritual Progress Through Regression. And I generally listen to, there's 2 tracks on there. I generally listen to the first one, because the second one is about like meditation, like manifestation and stuff like that. So the first one is a past life regression that is more to do with the healing side of stuff. And what I do is if I have something coming up in my mind, before I go into the meditation, I will ask my higher self to show me the lifetime that deals with that particular issue. Show me the very first lifetime, and that's probably a nice segue to me talking about the regression I did last weekend. So let me just finish up your reading. Community. So there is always people out there that can help you through. And please know that you're not alone. When a word like community comes up, it's because people who are in survival mode often do not consider themselves worthy enough to be a part of a community. They often see themselves as less than, and so don't wish to be a burden on anybody else. So they try extra hard to do whatever is required so that they aren't a burden. And so that they're kind of just, they're doing all the things, trying to get whatever it is that they feel that they're missing. But the cool thing is that if you have just a couple of really, really good, solid friends, they can make all the difference in the healing. All the difference. So reach out to your little community, reach out to your people, go spend some time with people who uplift you and make you feel good and happy, and bring more of that energy into your life. Okay? We are inherently social creatures. So that would be the last little parting message for you. Your sacred love with you. I love that card. It's a really pretty little card. So the regression that I did last weekend, it was about what I asked for. So what I had uncovered over the last couple of months is before I carry on, thank you, Mohit, for being here. Thank you for your beautiful donation. I'm so grateful for you, and thank you for trusting me to read for you. Super, super grateful. Thank you. So I became aware of, and it's not something that I was unaware of. A friend of mine, a male friend of mine, several years ago said to me, "Oh, you do like a bit of a project partner, don't you?" And I'm like, "What? No, I don't want to fix anybody." He goes, "So why do you keep picking up people who need fixing then?" And I'm like, "Oh, I don't know. Try to fix that. I'll try to stop that for the next one." Anywho, so most recently, it really came up in my face that that's what I had done again, in a different way, but it was still, the element was the same. And it's a part and parcel of who I am, as in I have this incredible ability to know lots of things about lots of things and to be able to preempt what people require. Doesn't mean I don't make mistakes. I do, but there's no but. Just, I still make mistakes. And sometimes, like at work, that skill of being the fix-it person, the person who can go in and remedy a situation, that's really, really useful at work. It's really crucial as a healer to be that person who can go along and assist someone, to guide someone so that they can do the healing that they require to do. I don't do the healing, they do. But everybody requires a little bit of guidance sometimes to get there. But to be a guide, you still have to know how to fix things. And the trouble is that that's not really required in a relationship to the same degree. And as I sort of questioned and dug through and tuned into my awareness and tuned into my heart and all that, I revealed that there's something funny going on. Like the energy of that same energy was being twisted somehow, and I didn't know how, because that energy is not the same in my work life or in my healing practice. It's a complete, like, those two themselves are beautiful and honoring and just full of integrity, and it's just lovely. But this relationship one was being like yucky twisted, and I didn't know what was going on. So I did a regression. And as I led into that regression, I asked the question, number one, where does this fix-it skill come from? When was the very first lifetime I ever had that? And number two was, why is it being twisted out of shape in romantic or intimate relationships? And because it doesn't get twisted with my friends, just with partners. And so I started that lovely regression by Dr. Brian Weiss, the first track. And I initially hopped into a lifetime where I was a man. And I looked down and I was kind of wearing something kind of like a toga. And I was like, okay, this is a bit weird. And I felt like I was on kind of like an island. And I'm like, what the hell? And then I was like, okay. So I was then asking questions about, where am I? Because it also it felt like Earth, but not Earth. And I'm like, okay, have I jumped into another planet that's kind of like Earth or what? And long story short, I'd actually landed in Atlantis. And this is where things are going to get a little bit strange for a moment. If you're not aware of this, then it's going to feel a bit odd. So just bear with me. So many of us didn't have our very first lifetime here on Earth. We've come through from other planets, and I've been well aware of this for many, many years. I originate in another planet. My previous lifetimes before Earth were in another planet. And like, I've known that since, gosh, where am I now? Probably at least 10 years I've known that. And because I got to visit a lifetime, which was my very first one here, where I had come here with my mother at the time, my alien mother. And because our planet had blown up. So we landed here. We came here on purpose. Anyway, that's a whole other story. So there I was a man. I was in Atlantis, and because it was very near, it was like my second or maybe third lifetime here, I still had the skills and the capacities of my alien form in a little bit of a lesser degree, but not by much. The planet doesn't exist anymore. So I'm not sure. I'd have to do another regression to find out, but it's probably in some weird language that I can't pronounce anyway. So there I was. And my capacity, so in the alien form, we don't have words as such. It's all telepathic communication, and it's open telepathic communication. And if you've read any of Dolores Cannon's books, you know there's nothing I'm saying here is unusual or weird or whatever. It's, And so as a result, if somebody required something, it was my job to go get it for them, to know and preempt what they were requiring. Now, in human form, of course, we've got these lovely faces and we've got these lovely mouths that can actually speak. And we do a really good job of saying, oh, no, I'm all right. I don't need anything. But in the back of your mind going, oh, actually, I would really love to have whatever. And so in Atlantis, because I was still so fresh to the planet, that was my job. And I would toddle around and I would be aware. I'd be on the lookout, on the hearing out for, on the telepathic communication, people's private thoughts of what they required. And so I would go and get it for them and then rock up. And it took a while, but people in the community eventually realized that I had this skill, and I was fortunately revered for that. And it was really cool. And I died a very happy man. The next lifetime, though, that is relevant to my question of where this fix-it skill comes from and how it was misused. I was a very attractive woman, and I was arranged to go to this man who was from that lifetime I saw as a reptilian man who was in disguise. And I ended up calling him the magician because he was doing a lot of sort of black magic-y type stuff, some dark magic. And because of my skill to preempt what other people required, I was very useful to him. He didn't have to tell me what he needed. I would go and get it. But he also knew that I was from this planet that had, no longer existed. And my skill, my talent was very powerful. And it was even more powerful when it was controlled and manipulated. And so what he had done is, in my servitude to him, he had placed magical points on me, in my body, on my heart, around my reproductive organs, my ankles, in spots all the way up my spine, around my throat, and on my third eye, sort of as a band around my forehead. Nobody could see the stuff, but it was imprinted into my spiritual body. And it was still there today. Not today, last week. It was still there. So, as I said, every time that skill was controlled and manipulated, it was feeding magic back to him, the magician. And that was why, and so he knew that if that energy was being transmitted out, I would attract in the appropriate kind of partner who would control and manipulate me, so that that magic would then get fed back through to the magician. Time is not linear. It is a spiral. All of your other lifetimes are happening right now. If you don't know that concept, welcome. Okay. So what I had to do was, once I'd identified all of that, I went to the end of that lifetime and went through the process of death. And what I do in that point is I do the healing. And in the healing part of what I do, I basically take all the stuff that is toxic or unhelpful or unhealthy or any abuse or anything like that that has happened, and I either by myself in this form heal that form, or I also call in others to help out. And this particular case, I had to call in others to help. So I had Mother Mary, I had Mary Magdalene, I had Archangel Raphael, I had Archangel Michael, and I had Archangel Metatron. And all of us, six of us together, undid the magics and healed the form so that there was nothing left to come through to me in the now, so that I will now be able to have the correct energy floating out of me, being transmitted out of me, that will be kind and caring and nurturing for a partner to come into that energy, not this unconscious magic, this dark magic energy that was unintentionally being transmitted out of me. So that was an interesting lifetime. A very interesting lifetime. So yes. Now, yes, you can. I have one more reading to do, and then sure. So yeah. I hope you found that interesting. I always find it interesting to talk about past lifetime healing. It's not, to me, it's not just about the regression. It's about the healing of it as well. It's the acknowledgement that the healing is why I'm there. And so it's one thing to know that is where the journey sort of began. It's another thing to take it and go, right, that stops now. And so a week later, I can tell you I feel far more confident. I feel a lot more settled within myself. When things have cropped up this week that have rattled my cage a little bit, I have honored those feelings, but at the same time, not felt like I was thrown off course or anything like that. And for all of that, I'm very grateful. Very, very grateful indeed. All right. Christine, are you still floating around, my love? Okay. Cool. So is that still your question? You're wanting to know what chakras are blocked? Tried cleaning yesterday. Beach, ocean. Nice. Nice. So all of that is to say, you guys have been absolutely fine. Because like I said, when it came to my healing stuff, the energy was clean and pure. Because it's a different ball game. Which is lovely. Really? Alrighty, we got the tiger's eye. So let's have a look. So show me this. Thank you. Show me new. Thank you. Okay. So truth. Are any of Christine's chakras blocked? Okay, that's coming back a yes. So truth is Christine's base chakra blocked? Yes. Okay, come back to neutral, please. Let's speed things up a little bit. Truth, is Christine's sacral chakra blocked? Nope. Back to neutral, please. Truth, is Christine's solar plexus blocked? Somewhat. It's going round in circles. Okay. Truth, is Christine's heart chakra blocked? Yes, I have another question to ask about that one, but I'll come back to that. It was only a little bit, but I have another question. Truth, is Christine's throat chakra blocked? That's a clear no. Truth, is Christine's third eye chakra blocked? Nope. Truth, is Christine's crown chakra blocked? Tiny bit. It's restricted a little bit. Truth, is the chakra that is above the crown blocked? A little bit. Excuse me. Truth, is the chakra that is below Christine's feet blocked? Yes. Okay. So let's see if we can remember all that. So we had the feet, the base, the heart, and a little bit of the crown, and a little tiny bit of the one that's above the crown, the etheric one. So the other question that I had to ask was around your heart. Truth, is Christine protecting her heart from hurt and pain and disappointment at the moment? Yes. Truth, is Christine protecting her base chakra from abuse? Yep. Truth, is this to do with Christine's dad? No. Is the blockage or restriction over Christine's heart to do with her dad? Truth is, because it was going around in circles, which is either somewhat or ask more questions. Truth is the restrictions around Christine's heart, a combination of two different men in her life. That is a yes. Truth is the restriction or contraction on Christine's crown chakra due to confusion around what is happening with her dad right now. That was a little yes, but it's only a little blockage. Okay. Truth, will Christine have more energy and peace and harmony in her life if she simplifies it a bit? Yes. Okay. So that last question was in relation to that last little bit that you've put up on the screen. Okay. That comment is done as a way of control and manipulation. He won't do it. I've struck that before. And I can honestly tell you that I used to do counseling, telephone counseling. And many, many years ago, before I even moved to Australia. And the one thing that is very true is those who talk about it don't do it. They use it as a way of, it's not necessarily attention seeking, like as in like, oh, look at me, look at me. It's more to do with control and manipulation. And in this case, that is absolutely true. So be aware that, you know, even if his brother did do that, which obviously he did, but I can almost guarantee he didn't tell anybody. He didn't have those conversations. Because when you're in that state, you don't think you're worthy enough to have that conversation with anybody. You don't want to be a burden. And so you just do not have that conversation with anybody. On reflection, people will start to notice some signs and symptoms after the deed is done. But no. So just, you've got a lot on your plate right now, Christine, and your body is in protection mode because of that, and justifiably so. Okay. I just found out he does not want to get his social security to help me with his food. And then he said if he did get social security, he would have to pay time. He does not want. Yep. It's time. You know what's right for you. It's hard. Your uncle's very wise. One of the things my granddad said to me when I was looking to get married to my first husband, who was a narcissistic gaslighter with borderline personality disorder. So really, really pearler of a combination. Man, the magician got a hell of a lot of energy from that connection. My granddad said to me, if you're happy, I'm happy. And of course, at the time, I was being too bolshy and pig-headed to go, well, actually, I'm not happy. But what that messaging was is, in simplest forms, does he make you happy? If he doesn't make you happy and he doesn't protect your peace, that's a deal breaker. And he can throw all the tantrums he likes and say all the shit he wants. At the end of the day, your body is going into massive amounts of survival mode and is showing you through all sorts of different ways and means. And I'm reflecting on some of the other things you've asked me about over the last 6 months or so on the podcast. So if anybody goes, oh my God, she's had private sessions and blah, blah, blah. No, on the podcast, different medical things that have been going on for you. That's your body screaming, I'm not happy. I'm feeling invaded in my life every single fucking day. You know, like, I bought the Jaguar and he's not paid me back. What the fuck? Sell it. If you don't want to, no, just sell it. Unless that is your car. But if you've got 2 cars, then there's no need, right? Yeah, you can't do it anymore. You are exhausted. And again, justifiably so. You've got enough on your plate dealing with what's going on with your dad without having this other person's shenanigans in your personal life as well and in your home life. On the most recent trip I went on to, it became very, very, very clear that I was in an unsafe situation. And my body went into survival mode. And it started protesting really massively. Within 4 days, I got a cold sore. I haven't had a cold sore in years. 2 days after that, my period started again. I'd only had 4 days between my period finishing and my period starting again. My body was protesting massively, saying, I'm not safe. I don't feel safe. I don't want to be here with this person. But I had to do what I had to do until I got home. So I know you're protecting everything else with all the leasing, like all the business stuff. So you're doing okay there. That's lightening the load now. You have to protect yourself now. Okay. So our bodies are very smart things, and they tell us lots of stuff all the time. Okay. So you have a choice of whether You, as an ex-friend of mine said, whether you strap on your big girl boots and pull up your big girl panties and do what requires to be done, or you can keep going the way you've been and just keep punishing your body with your choices and your future as well. It's up to you. So, I think I am. I think I've got time tomorrow. Yeah. Pretty sure I haven't blocked it out or anything. Let me just double check on that side. Overrides. Yep, no, you're fine. So if you're wondering what Christine was talking about, so I do personal sessions as well. Private sessions. You can find that on craftingpossibilities.com. Online sessions. So wherever you are in the world, it's all there it is at the bottom of the screen. Just put it down there. And what happens is it's all that the booking system's automated. So my availability times are there. And if it matches up with yours, fabulous. Aw, thank you, Nell. Yes, darling. That'll be my tomorrow morning. You book it in. So yeah, the times there should be all correct. I don't think I've done anything weird lately. Oh dear. Let me just double check. Saturdays 10 till 5, Sundays 9 till 3. Yep, perfect. There was one time somehow I changed the times and I forgot to put PM and it came out AM. And poor Christine, she tried to book a session and it was like 3 a.m. my time. And I'm like, that's not going to happen, dude. I'm asleep. Oh, dear. So, yeah. Oh, Antonella. Okay, cool. Yeah. So that's cool. If you want to do that, awesome. We'll get some stuff rocking and rolling for you. Okay. I'd love to help you with that a little bit. One of the things that is of the greatest privilege for me is being able to assist other women, especially women, into gaining that confidence that they require so that they can make those big choices and those hard things happen. And I've been and done a lot of healing and a lot of had to heal from a lot of horrible things, horrible relationships, and some not so horrible, but they're related back to other things. So been there, done it, bought the t-shirt, and it is it's an honor. It's an honor to be able to help and to guide. All right, Antonella or Nell. What would you prefer? I like Nell. One of my very dearest friends, her name. I'm happy to go with whatever you would like. So what is your question, Nell? Nella for YouTube. Oh, cool. What would your question be, my dear? Mm. Ooh, what are you aware of? Ooh. That one, no, for travel. You want that one. Okay. Let's go that way. Some carnelian. Show me a yes. Show me a no. Thank you. So, truth. What will it create for Nella to go to another city? Nella, are you talking about moving or just traveling? Just, for a holiday or a day trip or something like that? Gotta love a delay. It's pretty awesome, eh? Truth, what will it create if Nella stays in the city she's in today? That's a very definitive yes. So, truth, what will it create if Nella goes to another area over the weekend? Interesting. Truth, is she aware of an accident? Or truth, will there be a delay? Truth, will she be harmed if she goes to this other city? Nope. Truth, will it put a bit of a sour spin on her weekend if she does go and gets caught up in whatever it is? Yes. Truth, is there something fun to do in the city that she's got and is hang on, yes, I started to be scared of meeting an ex. Ah, cool. So there you go. You obviously require to stay away from that area for now. Okay, so go do something fun somewhere else. And yeah, I know what that's like. Only too well. There's something about the scared of meeting an ex. Yeah, no, don't go there today. Nope. There'll be some kind of something that's going on that's going to kind of put a bit of a block on the day for you. So it's like do something else fun for you. There is a card that's asking to come out. I just got to figure out which deck it is from. Okay, keeps coming back to that one. Cool. Follow the awareness. Yes, stay where you are. As in, you don't have to stay at home. But perhaps just this week my friend died and meeting my ex. Oh gosh, I am so sorry to hear that. Oh, hun, that sucks ass. Sending you lots of love for that one, because, oh, yeah. I don't think you were around, but earlier in the show tonight, I had a bit of a moment of grief myself around a friend who passed away earlier this year. Yeah, grief sucks. So definitely do something kind of nurturing for yourself, okay? Because that's hard. That's so hard. And I can understand why you're like, I don't know if I should go or not. Yeah, totally. Interesting. Oh, okay. Okay. So the card, yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. It was such a blessing to have my friend in my world too. And more often than not now, when I feel their presence or something like that, it makes me smile. But yeah, it was a random moment where it was just like, oh, that was kind of like they're not going to be here for this. And that's what made me feel sad. Yeah. It's that I can't call them up and have that conversation anymore. I can't get excited about sharing something that we both love. And that sucks. But anyway, this card is in relation to you moving. And I was like, okay, what? And they said, before I read what the book says, the words that your team gave me is, don't move because you feel like you have to run away. Okay. So that was the initial part of their message. So it says, change perspective. Shimmering like a mirage in the sun's light, star dragons rarely wander out to bask in its warmth. However, this star companion dragon brings a reminder that now would be a good time to change your perspective and do things a bit differently. Things may seem difficult and there may not be a foreseeable way out from where you are situated, but things will look different if you flip them around. This dragon will help you to navigate the problem, but be willing to listen to new ideas, view your life and situation from a fresh angle, and most importantly, be open to the messages that come through, no matter what strange source they might have. Okay. So you can ask to work with the star dragon during this time. And just ask them to help you to see things from a new perspective or a different way. You might find that staying put for just a bit longer as far as moving and that is possibly even a better idea. It might mean just moving to a different part of the city or something like that. Sometimes it can be as simple as just not telling people where you're going. Like there's only, besides my neighbor, the landlord, and the real estate agent, of my friends who live here, only 2, sort of 3 of them actually know where I live. And that's specific. because I've had enough relationships where things have gone very poorly, and I don't want people to know where I live. So I understand that philosophy of having to move to get away. There might be a reason why you're being called to stay put for now. Okay. Besides the fact that you also, you're dealing with the grief of your friend. So yeah, I do get it. I mean, I moved countries to get away from my family and to make a full fresh start, new career, everything. And I do get it. But in saying that, like, once I hit here, I stayed in the same sort of area for the majority of 15 years. Well, 13 years, sorry. And then I stretched out, went to a completely different area of the city. That lasted a year and a half. And then now I'm here. In a, again, completely different area of the city. So I went from the west to the south, and now I'm up north. So I get to experience a new area, which is fun. But I didn't move a state. I didn't move, I didn't move a long way away from my already established friends and things. I just go see them. If I want to see them, I go see them. Oh dear. So yeah, shifting countries, I get it. So change your perspective a little bit. There's obviously something in there that your team is aware of, that you're aware of, that is asking to move around a little bit, maybe to not be quite so afraid of being uncomfortable. There we go. They're asking you to just sort of sit with being a little bit uncomfortable, of having to process and trust yourself. And there's an element there of learning to trust you so that you can be aware of who's going to be a good connection for you in the future. Okay. There's loads and loads and loads of content out there around what a good man looks like. Did you hear me talk about the book recommendation? It's pretty hard going, so I wouldn't listen to it for you right now, but just in case you don't come back, or we don't cross paths again, before you get into another relationship, I would highly recommend, if you're somebody like me who does a lot of self-reflection, this book is going to be really, really helpful for you. Again, wait for a little bit until after your friend, the grief and the funeral and all of that sort of stuff is sorted with your friend. But it's a book by Louise Perry. It's on Audible, if you like Audible, and it's called The Case Against the Sexual Revolution. Okay. Like I said, even for me, I do loads and loads of self-reflection and healing and all that sort of stuff. And I found it tough so I've had to do it little bits. But it'll help you to understand some of your psychology of perhaps why you've attracted in relationships that are not helpful or healthy, or maybe have even from small amounts of narcissism and gaslighting and abuse to large amounts. It's like there's a reason for that, and it's not about victim shaming, okay, or blaming or anything like that. It's more about comprehending the energy that we are being and putting out, and how our brains are working, and what we are accepting as being okay behavior that then becomes not okay behavior, because it crosses a line. Okay. But we also required to understand why that has got there in the first place. And that's where this I'm fearful thing comes from. Okay. So that's why I recommend that book. Merit, shifting locations quite often. Is it a trauma? Not feeling home anywhere? Yes. So now, Nella, I'm just going to finish off your reading with a yummy card. We love the yummy cards. Yes, darling. Today, staying in the same city. Do something nice and yummy for you that you and your friend. Yeah, okay, cool. That gave me tingles all the way up my back. Do something for you that you and your friend would have loved to do together. Okay? Something that'll just make her feel like she's still kind of with you. And I think she still is. I get that sense that she's still floating around you because she knows that you're so sad. She knows you're grieving. And I'm saying she. Interesting. But yeah. It says open-hearted. So this is something that you're going to have to keep reminding yourself to stay open-hearted. Don't close off your heart. It's okay. As a dear friend of mine says, what is meant for you won't pass you by. Okay. Yes, go to a spa. Go to a spa for me. Oh, yes, please. Oh, oh dear. Today, its birthday on Tuesday was a funeral. Yeah, that's rough. Ouch. Not so advised. And I say this from a holistic healing, energetic healing perspective, in that alcohol opens your body in for entities to come in. And these entities, they mess with your head. And if you're already feeling sad and depressed, they just make it worse. They feed off the energy because they know that they can feed off the energy, which will then encourage you to drink more, which is why they want you to drink in the first place, because they're lacking in the alcohol. So do something nice and nurturing, and then they'll stay away. No problem. All right. You got this. So thank you. Thank you for coming. Thank you for being here. Thank you for asking and for donating and sending you lots and lots of love at this very tender time. And go have a spa. Go do something lovely. Okay. Oh, that'll be awesome. I'm here every Friday generally. It's very unusual for me to not be here. So that's cool. So to come back to Marit's question, shifting locations quite often, is it a trauma? Yes, not feeling home anywhere can be. While there is an element of resilience that is created, what I can tell you from my personal experience of being a child who moved a lot, and that I had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 different primary schools that I went to. So, because I was chopped and changed all around the place, all around the shop. And then I went to just one high school because my family, my mum and dad had split up, and then we'd sort of settled down a little bit. But what that meant for me is in those first few years of going to school, because I was the eldest and all I did was hang out with either my little brother or other adults, my ability to create friendships and gain that skill of creating friendships that were deep and meaningful was stunted for a very long time. And it's only taken the kindness, caring, and the perseverance of my current adult friends that have allowed me to have deep and meaningful friendships into my adult years. And those, so then moving around a lot in my 20s, every couple of years I ended up moving to a new city, thanks to the husband at the time and his shenanigans. So I never really was able to gain, from that time, I only have one friend that I still talk to now. So this is like 20 years later. Because it's a trauma. You can't ever feel like you've got your feet landed anywhere. And as soon as you do start to feel like you've got your feet landed, you wait for that moment where it's going to get ripped out from underneath you again. And so you're always on edge. It adds to that survival mode thing that we were talking about earlier. So it's like kids who are Air Force, Navy, any of that, where they're constantly being moved around, they either go one way or the other. They either become incredibly good at creating friendships really fast, or they are a little bit more like me and they sort of stand back and they watch. They're a little bit more of the wallflower thing, and a bit shy. Now, you wouldn't necessarily look at me and think, oh, she's shy, because this is my safe place. So I'm here and I'm safe and I love talking with you guys. So that's where you get the bright and bubbly me. But put me in a situation where there's a lot of people that I don't know, and I go, ooh. Oh. Okay. I don't talk much. Unless I can get into a conversation with a one-on-one, I just sit and I observe. That's when you get to see the more introverted side of me. It's fun. Anywho. So yes, there is a lot of trauma that happens from moving around a lot. The hardest part is when you've had relationships that have gone sour. The reality is that the fear of the guy coming back and hurting you is very, very real. And you hope that that's not something that they will do, but you still feel like you have to prepare just in case. And that generally means that you've got to up sticks and move really quick. And it's very rare in a relationship breakup for a woman to do that to a man. But unfortunately, it's very common for men. Something that the ratio is about 23%, 23 to 30% of, domestic violence happens. What is it? Where did that statistic come from and why is it stuck in my brain? The ratio of men to women domestic violence, men is way, way, way higher. Like it's around what did they say? About 98% of men are in that violent thing towards women, like in all the cases and stuff. 2% is women, but the women side of it is around, they've generally paired up with a man to do it. Isn't that? But that's a bit of a shocking statistic, isn't it? So yes, it's unfortunately one of the hard realities that we have to deal with. So, alrighty, we are going to go and do our meditation now. So let me just drop that off for now. And the meditation that we're going to do is something that I learned, gosh, how long ago was that? In my very early 30s. So before I moved over here, I learned this, and it was probably pretty foundational for me to really start to comprehend that emotions are energy. And the guy that taught me this doesn't teach it anymore from the last search that I did of him. And I was like, oh, that sucks, because it really contributed to me. But that's okay, because he taught me. So now I can teach you. And it is one of those things of how to find the peace, even when everything around you is like all your thoughts and everything, and everybody else's thoughts and everything is just going absolutely mental in your head and in your space, and you're like, I can't find the quietness. This particular tool is lovely. So he had, so this is coming off of the reading earlier, where we're talking about finding the peace and quietness within your heart space. So I'm going to take Christopher Prime's tool, and we're going to jiggle it around a little bit. But the way to get there is going to be the same. Okay. And because that's what I do. I'm good at being a fix-it, but I'm also good at manipulation of tools so that they will work for whoever I'm with. So yes, all right. We will do the expanding out tool first, and then we're going to go into finding your quiet place, and then we'll go into doing the core. Okay. And that will be lovely tonight. Okay. So we do the expanding out so that, which is a tool from another modality that I've extended upon because that's what I do. I'm a creative sort. Okay. So close your eyes now. Take a big deep breath in. And out. And take another big deep breath in. Bring Mother Earth energy all the way up through your body, from your feet to your head. And breathing out, bringing Father Sky energy all the way down. Bring Mother Earth in the unconditional love all the way up through your body. Bring Father Sky and the gratitude for everything and everyone all the way down. Beautiful. As you become aware of your body, just allow your breath to keep going nice and slow and low in your belly. You can place one hand on your belly so that you just right down the bottom of your belly, and just make sure that you are indeed breathing down there and not in your upper chest. You should feel your hand moving in and out just gently as you breathe. And as you become aware of the breath in your body, allow your awareness to move down. Become aware of the cells of your body, the millions upon millions of cells. And then become aware of your molecules. Zoom in a bit further to see the center part of the molecules with the protons and the neutrons zooming around the nuclei. And the nuclei itself is within 4 parts. And as you go down even further, you can see that within the center of the nuclei is space. And as you have a look all around, you see that there's just a lot of space. In fact, you're 99.9999999% space. And as such, you are not stuck. You are not stagnant. You have the power and the magic to be able to change anything you desire. Often it's our point of views and our belief systems that prevent us from making these magical moves. Now expanding out your awareness in a big bubble all around you, up into the sky, down into the earth, with you in the center of this beautiful big awareness bubble. Expanding out your awareness greater than the size of the building that you're in, greater than the size of the country that you're on, greater than the size of the planet, greater than the size of the solar system. Expanding out your awareness greater than the size of the galaxies. Expanding out your awareness greater than the size of the universes. Take a big deep breath in and out. Beautiful. Keep your awareness nice and expanded out, and if you're feeling a bit of pressure or tension across your forehead or anything like that, that's very, very normal. Don't worry, it will ease off in a moment. And in fact, take notice of that, because what that shows you is what it feels like when your awareness exceeds your allowance. Okay, it's sort of like makes you feel a little bit crunchy, weird in your body a little bit. That's really normal. All right, another way that our body talks to us. So as you tune in on your body, again, you're going to expand out your sense of allowance, remembering that as you expand out your sense of allowance, you take yourself from being a tight, contracted little pebble at the bottom of a raging river of everybody else's thoughts, feelings, and emotions, and turns you into like a nice fluffy cloud, just floating along. And you can choose to play in that raging river or not. But the beautiful thing is that from this vantage point, you can see that raging river for exactly what it is. It's not actually a raging river of thoughts, feelings, and emotions that's there to bash and beat you up and to have you at the effect of it. No, it's just energy. You're aware of it, but it's just energy. It's not good or bad. And as you are that nice big fluffy cloud, you can choose to just float on by your merry, happy way. That's the beautiful thing about it. So let's expand out our allowance now, our sense of allowance. Greater than the size of the building that you're in, up into the sky, down into the earth, a nice big bubble with you in the center. Expanding out your sense of allowance, greater than the size of the country that you're in, greater than the planet, greater than the solar system. And you might be starting to feel your body is relaxing now. Greater than the size of the galaxies. Expanding out your allowance, greater than the size of the universes. And now expanding out your allowance, greater than your awareness. And take a big, deep breath in. And out. Beautiful. And now all that tension in your head or anywhere else, your shoulders, your neck, all of that will start to disappear now. If you feel like you need to move your body a little bit, please do. And now settle your body once more. That's the expanding out tool. And now we're going to find the peace in the storm. So I'd like you to imagine that all of the thoughts, feelings, and emotions in that raging river that you're aware of, you're like that big old fluffy cloud again, but you can be in human form this time. And they're like the white lines on the road. Just see them, just watch them floating on by. There's no story attached to them. They're just like doop, doop, doop. And you see these little white lines going across your path. And there's like hundreds and hundreds of them. Some of them are yours, but majority of them are other people's stuff that you're just aware of. And again, you don't have to know what each of them are, just observe. And now you'll notice that there's actually gaps in between those little lines. As you focus in a little bit closer, you'll see that you can actually walk straight through those little gaps to the space on the other side. So do that now. Or you can jump over the top, whichever way feels more fun for you. And as you pop onto the other side, you'll notice a space and a feeling of peacefulness, of quietness. You may still hear the sounds of nature and things like that, but the thoughts, feelings, and emotions are just kind of off in the background now. They're still there, but they're less predominant on your world. To the front of you is a doorway. And on each side of that door are big, beautiful pillars of rainbow-like crystals. Opalescent, if you like. These towers of crystal at either side of this doorway. And as they shimmer, they cast rainbow lights all the way around, onto the floor, onto the wall, onto the ceiling space, if there is one, and even onto you. If you look down, you'll see rainbows across your skin and your clothing. Through that doorway is your place of peace and calm. A safe place for you to rest and nurture yourself. A place where you can be calm and allow your mind to know that it is okay to let go. It's okay to breathe. Now, what's on the other side of that doorway is going to be unique to you. I'd like you to use your imagination now. As you walk towards those crystals, those crystal pillars, and you see them and you touch them and you feel the hum of that beautiful opalescent light, which of course, as we know from our many, many visits to the theta plane, the opalescent light is indeed unconditional love. So you're now being bathed in unconditional love. And as you look through the doorway, you see what makes you feel happy and calm, peaceful, childlike a little bit, curious. In this space, it might look like a beautiful field of flowers. It might look like a big bunch of pillows. It might look like outer space. Whatever it looks like to you is perfect. As long as it makes you smile, makes you feel peaceful, gives you that nice little dopamine hit, and it allows your cortisol and your adrenaline to calm down, to take the back seat for a while and just come along or just have a bit of a rest. Allowing your dopamine and your oxytocin time to have at the front seat. Allowing your body to heal, rest, and regenerate. As you move around this space in a way that makes you feel really happy on the inside and gives you the biggest smile. I'm going to ask you now to find a place within this space where you can lay down or be horizontal or whatever, but still the body. And as your body stills, and you feel calm and relaxed, nourished and nurtured, I'd like you to focus on your heart now. And in your heart space, if you have any energies floating around that area that are dark, sticky, just not light. I'm just going to ask you now to just observe this energy was more than likely placed there as a form of protection against trauma. And it's done a really good job up until now. But the thing is, you're now wiser in love. You're smarter now in love than you've ever been before. So this level of protection is no longer required. You've got this because you're no longer the age you were when you placed that around your heart. It doesn't matter if you were a little one or if this was last week. Because the thing is, as long as this sits there, you are unable to be aware of the things that could potentially hurt you or create harm in the future. You have to have your heart open, be discerning, but with your heart open. So your heart can tell you quickly and concisely, communicate with you, rather than being blocked by these trauma energies. As you observe that dark spot, that sticky spot, I'd like you to imagine now that there is a teeny tiny white light or opalescent light version of you. And this teeny tiny white opalescent version of you is like the bestest superhero in the whole wide world. And that little teeny tiny white version of you, white light version, opalescent light version of you, is going to go straight through the center of that dark energy, that sticky energy. And it's going to pause. You're going to pause right in the middle of it. And this might seem a little bit confronting. But here's the cool thing. You're so amazing and so magical that you can expand out that bright, white, opalescent version of you. Expanding out through that dark energy, the sticky, yucky stuff. Expanding out, expanding out, expanding out. Bigger, 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 bigger. Beautiful. And as you expand out bigger, 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 you might notice the dark energy moves a little bit around. That's okay. Just move with it. Keep expanding out until you'll get to a point where the dark energy is just like disintegrates. And then the bright, white, opalescent version of you now fills up your entire body, flooding you with so much unconditional love from the top of your head to the tips of your fingers and your toes, from your front and your back, your side to your side, everywhere. And your body feels good. And your heart, even though it feels a little bit tender, it feels happy and calm and peaceful. And in this moment, you are once again empowered to be brutally aware of anyone who comes into your space who is set to hurt you, so that you know who to avoid and to not spend time with. So you can have the same philosophy as the white buffalo woman. If somebody has nefarious thoughts, can imagine with a flick of your eyes, they turn to dust. Having this level of awareness and potency to know and to feel the energy of other people's intentions, that's powerful. This will help you to make great choices moving forward on who to work with, who to play with, who to enjoy. And you'll even, if you're willing to look, be able to see underneath the pretty words of people on social media, in politics, in the movies, everywhere. You'll be able to sense with greater ease and clarity if people are being genuine or not. Whether they're living with integrity or they have absolutely no qualms about lying and cheating and hurting other people. So with all that wonderful new or remembered skills, talents, and abilities come back to you in full force, smile and enjoy this space again. For that process is now done. Enjoy this space for just a few more moments. And now move back out through the doorway. To the area in front of the door. Once again, touching that beautiful pillar of light, a rainbow light. And you see that the thoughts, feelings, and emotions are still just zooming on by. But this time you don't have to walk through. You're just going to expand out into your body as you are now. Beautiful. And now imagine that you're underneath the beautiful crystalline waterfall and the water is flowing over and through you. Just washing away any other little fragments of energies or beliefs or point of views that are no longer serving you. Washing them all away, giving it back to Mother Earth, where she will happily use that energy for something else. Remember, it's not good or bad. And now stepping up onto a big, warm river rock where you feel the warmth of Mother Earth underneath your feet. And that beautiful rock has been warmed by Father Sky and Mother Earth together. Taking a big breath in. And breathing out. Breathing in, bring Mother Earth energy all the way up through your body. Breathing out, bringing Father Sky energy all the way down. Breathing in, bringing Mother Earth and the unconditional love all the way up. And breathing out, bringing Father Sky and the gratitude for everything and everyone all the way down. Beautiful. When you're ready, open your eyes. Have a drink of water. You may even like to have a little bit of salt in your water. Remember that as we do energetic healing, our brains particularly use a lot of water and salt, and that's why salty water is actually really good for you. Just a little bit. Thank you for being here. Thank you for enjoying that time with me. I'm so, so grateful for you. And I hope that you get out there and do something tasty for yourself over this next weekend or the week to come. Just remember, there might be some moments there where things get a little bit tense. And just come back to that place of peace and calm. Expand out. Find that place of peace and calm. And lighten up. You can revisit your happy place, your calm, peaceful place, whenever you wish. Don't need me to do it. That's yours. So until I see you next time, be bold, be brave, be you, my beautiful friends. I'll see you soon. Bye-bye.